please can I have your kind attention just for a few hours, for a few minutes. Your Excellency, Secretary of State, Honourable Minister Sinha, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you 3 times. Thank you to our guests who have travelled all the way from India. Thank you also to our guests that have travelled all the way from the Republic of Leicester. And thirdly, thank you to all of you football buffs who could be doing something else at this time. So thank you everybody, and let's give a big cheer to the England football team. Wish them all the very best. Friends, many of you will know that about a year ago I published an anthology of essays on UK-India relations beyond Brexit, called The Winning Partnership, presumptive on 2 counts. One, there are some friends, and some of my very dear friends, that still think that perhaps Brexit may not happen. And secondly, presumptive that this relationship between the UK and India is a truly winning partnership. Friends, I believe that there are most definitely questions to be asked and questions to be answered. In my latest editorial, I make the point that, for instance, in the race for global talent, I believe that the UK and India needs to recognise each other's convictions and compulsions much better. But despite the doubts, above all, there is one thing, and one thing alone, that makes this relationship so special, that will overcome whatever those small hurdles, those challenges, addressing the naysayers, and that is the people of the United Kingdom, the people of India, the Indian diaspora, all of you in this room. And that's why I decided last year to do 2 things. And I was a vociferous campaigner to remain within the European Union. But I decided that, look, if the vote has happened, what can I do? And therefore, after Winning Partnership, I said, how can we bring to life the essays, the thoughts, the ideas that people like Jitesh, Lord Marland and others in this room, Patricia, have written about the UK-India partnership? How can we bring this to life? And the only way I felt was to bring people together, to discuss, to debate, to decide the future together. And the second thing was to recognise those individuals that are making a huge, huge contribution in their own ways in enriching the relationship between the UK and India. So last year was the first year that we published the top 100 most influential in UK-India relations. And guess what? Secretary of State, I made 100 new friends. But this year, as happens with editorial discretion, there are many from that list that are still on that list, and rightly so. Some have slipped off, because they didn't make the call to me, they didn't take me out for lunch, but there are lots of other new people. Friends, my message is not who's on and who's off the list. My message is this, that each and every one of you represents something special. You represent an organization, you represent a community, you represent people, and it is people. The living bridge that Prime Minister Modi talks about is what makes this relationship tick. And so, in this edition, and I know there are a few friends from the media here and a few accountants as well. As you flick through it, you'll come to 100, and then 101, 102, and it'll get to about 116. And you'll say, what on earth is Manoj up to? Because this year we decided to have 3 special sections to spotlight, to highlight some of the great achievers that I believe deserve to be within the 100. But we decided to put a separate section. One is the next gen, some young leaders who are making a real impact within our community. Secondly, social impact. Within the social sector, there are many, many people who are making a huge contribution to the lives of millions of people in India and here. And thirdly, those tech gurus. Because at the heart of our relationship, I believe, is innovation and technology. And I'm delighted that Infosys and Ajay Vij are here to support this event, because it is people like Ajay and his team and others within the tech industry that will drive our relationship forward. Yes, we can look back and reflect some good things, some bad things. But when Prime Minister Modi came to the UK in 2015, and we were thinking of a phrase to capture that reception, and CB, you will remember, the one phrase that came to my mind was 2 great nations, 1 glorious future. And it is the future that we should now concentrate on. So I know, Secretary of State, you've got to rush, and so I'm going to request His Excellency the High Commissioner, Honourable Minister Manoj Sinha, who I'm delighted has found time in his very, very tight schedule, who is the Minister for Communications and Railways in India, who's made time to be with us here today, to come onto the stage along with the Secretary of State and to release the top 116 or odd most influential in UK relations. Here's a short video.